British Prime Minister Boris Johnson will face a grilling about Ukraine in his weekly Prime Minister's Questions session, which gets underway shortly. He is back in London after visiting Poland and Estonia on Tuesday. He's likely to face questions in the House of Commons about whether his government is doing enough to respond to the crisis. And actually, just in the last few minutes, we have heard from Downing Street here in London that British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has had another phone call with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Downing Street telling us that the conversation included Boris Johnson condemning what he called the abhorrent attacks on Ukraine in the recent hours and days. Downing Street says that Boris Johnson told President Zelensky that the UK is rallying UN General Assembly members today to try and come up with the strongest possible condemnation of Russia at this afternoon's UN meeting in New York. Downing Street going on to say that he shared his disgust at the attacks in Ukraine, saying that the UK is doing everything it can to support the Ukrainian people and their resistance. We're told by Downing Street that President Zelensky thanked the Prime Minister for the UK's support, including defensive aid, those lethal defensive weaponry that the UK has been sending to Ukraine recently. Volodymyr Zelensky saying that that equipment has been vital in holding back Russian forces. Both leaders, according to Downing Street, in this conversation agreed on the need for sanctions to go further to exert maximum pressure on President Putin. And we're told by Downing Street that the call concluded with Boris Johnson saying his thoughts and prayers and those of the UK are with the Ukrainian people. And as I say, the British Foreign Office has so far released a list of Russian individuals, banks, companies facing sanctions, but critics claim it will take weeks or even months for some of those sanctions to bite on Russian oligarchs. The UK has been accused of lagging behind the US and the EU by targeting just 8 or 9 individuals from Russia so far. The government insists over 120 entities have been targeted to date, and more will be sanctioned in the coming weeks and months. And as I say, in that call between Boris Johnson and Volodymyr Zelensky, both of those leaders agreeing, we're told by Downing Street, that sanctions will need to go further in the coming days. The UK has also, in its latest move, announced sanctions against senior military officials in Belarus because of their role in helping the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Britain has also banned all ships with Russian links from entering its ports. Transport Secretary Grant Shapps has encouraged other countries to do the same in that regard. The British government's also announced an extension of its visa offer for Ukrainians fleeing the conflict in their country. The Home Office has expanded a scheme for close relatives of Ukrainian people settled in the UK to allow them to flee to Britain from the conflict in Ukraine. It will now include adult parents, grandparents, children over 18 and siblings as well, which means the country could take in more than 200,000 Ukrainian refugees. British firms can also sponsor Ukrainians entering the country.
British nationals and any person settled in the UK can bring over immediate Ukrainian family members. Through this policy alone, an additional 100,000 Ukrainians could be eligible to come to the UK and access work and public services. There is no limit on the numbers eligible under this route, Mr. Speaker.